Welcome to the Residence Hall License Training Module. We have assembled this video to walk you through important pieces of the Residence Hall License and help you answer commonly asked questions about our policies. Let's get started. The Residence Hall License is organized into lettered and numbered sections. We will not be reviewing all of these sections, just the ones that are most common for you. Each slide contains the letter and section number at the bottom for your reference.
Each section of this presentation contains slides and sometimes videos. There is narration on each slide, and you will have approximately 10 seconds left on a slide after narration ends. If you need more time to view a slide, simply pause it during this time. The videos in this presentation are meant to be an example of policy, not an example of confrontation. Many residence hall violations result in documentations which you won't see in the videos. There will be a separate training addressing this.
There are two documents that outline student conduct on campus. The first is the Student Code of Conduct, which applies to all students. The second is the Residence Hall License, which applies to students who are living in the residence halls. Before a student is able to go through room selection, they must agree to abide by the Residence Hall License, and therefore are responsible for the information it contains.
Oh man.
It's important that students check their email regularly for official documents sent by the college. As a staff member, you should be checking your email multiple times a day.
Alcohol paraphernalia is an item on the Residence Hall License that changes a little bit from year to year. Currently, empty glasses, flasks, and cardboard beer box labels are allowed for decorative use. For clarification, please see your up-to-date copy of the Residence Hall License. If you have questions, be sure to ask your hall director.
All alcoholic beverages are prohibited on campus, as well as the bottles and cans that come with them. Sometimes residents might try and collect beer bottles and cans for money. You have to discourage them from doing this because even though they might be well-intentioned, it is still a violation of our policy.
All weapons are prohibited on campus. For a complete list, refer to your Residence Hall License, but keep in mind, a weapon is also defined as any object used with the intent to harm another person.
Fire violations from confiscated items that are prohibited are one of the most common types of problems you will handle as an RA. Part of the problem is confusion because residents don't know what is prohibited. At the beginning of the year, be sure to update your residents on our license so they know what items they're not allowed to have.
There are a lot of items that aren't permitted in the Residence Hall License because of fire violations, but we do encourage the use of alternate items that satisfy the same purpose but aren't a violation. These things include battery-operated flameless candles, air fresheners, and the use of artificial Christmas trees. Space heaters and halogen lamps are also not allowed on campus due to the amount of heat that they give off. Any lamps a student wishes to bring to campus must be UL approved. The UL logo is usually a shiny sticker placed near the base of the lamp.
Desk lamps that have an extra outlet in their base have recently become extremely popular. However, this works like an extension cord and therefore these are prohibited by our license.
Hey, my extension cord got taken over break. Do you know anything about that? Have you checked your email at all lately? Because the hall director may have notified you. You might want to set up a meeting to talk about fire regulation stuff.
Oh, okay. I'll go check.
You cannot have extension cords, multi-taps, and splitters on campus. Sometimes residents are confused when they believe multi-taps with surge protection are allowed because they have a glowing light on them. However, these devices do not have a switch for you to manually cut the power, so they are prohibited.
Only surge protectors with a switch are permitted on campus. However, students are not permitted to connect surge protectors together to add length. This is commonly known as piggybacking or a daisy chain. There are surge protectors available with longer cords for students who would like additional length.
Daisy chaining or piggybacking surge protectors can be extremely dangerous. Please make sure your residents are educated on this, and if you come across it, address it immediately. Residents are encouraged to keep their doors locked at all times. You as an RA or ATM are encouraged to do the same because it's hard to ask the residents to do something that you're not doing yourself. It's easy to get comfortable in the residence hall environment, but please understand that those looking to steal are going to target those who do not lock their doors.
Students who would like to have curtains in their room can do so, as long as their hall director has observed the curtains being sprayed with a fire retardant spray. At that time, their hall director will give them a certificate. The hall director will keep a copy of this form, and the student will also get a copy, which they should keep in their room and be able to provide when asked.
In general, all cooking appliances are prohibited on campus, including sun lamps, air conditioners, water coolers with heating elements, and electric blankets as well. Exceptions to this rule include blenders and juicers because they don't contain heating elements.
Permitted items include countertop height refrigerators, automatic shutoff coffee or tea makers, and microwaves. However, these items are limited to one per room and should be registered at check-in.
These chairs suck.
Hey, what you guys doing?
These chairs suck. We're getting rid of them.
Yeah, I want to put them in the lounge.
They're from your room?
Yeah.
You guys gotta hang on to those. It's probably best if you leave them in your room, because otherwise at the end of the year, when you find out that they're not there, maintenance is gonna charge you guys for missing furniture. What? So, yeah, you probably gotta hang on to those for now.
Oh, this is perfect! This is awesome. You got a dining room table? Yeah, it goes right into the common room. I'll grab right here. 1, 2, 3.
Hey guys, what do you think you're doing?
We're just taking this table for our common room.
Oh, you can't do that. This is a study lounge, so like the tables and chairs in here are for everybody. So you're gonna have to leave it. But if you really want a table for your room, you can always go down to the store downtown and get a table that folds away, so you can like tuck it under your bed or tuck it behind your futon, something like that.
Okay. We can split it 3 ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Students are responsible for their room and the furniture that it contains. We ask that students do not remove furniture from their rooms or take any furniture from common areas and put it into their rooms.
Cleanliness and hygiene is not just a health issue, it's also a fire safety issue. A messy room can be a fire hazard and will be cited by the fire marshal. Also, if residents aren't keeping their laundry and other items clean, it can be a health issue.
Students may request a loft or bunk beds, but we ask that they don't do this themselves and ask for assistance from the hall maintenance staff. If a bunk or lofted bed is done improperly, severe injuries could result.
Smoking in our halls is prohibited, and outside, the residents need to be at least 20 feet from the building because many people are sensitive to the smoke that comes from cigarettes, and therefore we want them far enough away to reduce harm. Any tampering with fire equipment or intentional starting of fires in the residence halls can actually result in a felony conviction.
A guest is any person who is not a resident of a given room. This includes on-campus guests who live in other halls, commuter students, or off-campus visitors. Off-campus guests can be registered using a guest registration form found at the front desk of your hall. We ask that residents have their roommates sign the form to indicate their knowledge and permission for that guest to prevent roommate problems.
Oh my god, she was like, yeah, let's do it!
That's crazy.
I can't believe it. Isn't that awesome?
Hi, so it's past quiet hours.
It's important that guests of a resident are following all policies. Residents can actually be held responsible for any of their guests' actions. We place limitations on how many guests a resident can have at a time and how long they stay because there have been problems in the past with people abusing these privileges. Another reason we place limitations on guests is because of fire code. We can't have more people in a resident's room than the capacity that room allows.
Hey, I'm raising money for this organization. We're doing a fundraiser and everything, and so we need money. I was wondering if I could take out your bottles and cans for you, clean your room or something.
Hi, excuse me? You can't solicit at the residence halls.
I can't?
No.
Even though most groups are well-intentioned when they go into the halls to fundraise, solicitation is still prohibited. The reason it is prohibited is because we have had problems with groups in the past. So to improve the comfort of the residents in the halls, we have a policy that broadly addresses this problem.
All doors to the residence halls other than the main entrance lock at 11 o'clock p.m. We ask any student entering the building to use the main entrance and check in or sign in with the night host on duty. This is for safety purposes so we can make sure the people who are in the building during the late night hours are allowed to be there.
Can you turn your music down? Because I could hear it like down the hall.
Sound policies were put into place to protect a resident's right to both relax and get their academic work done in the residence hall. Residents are encouraged to use headphones to keep sound levels down. We understand that sometimes there will be shows or sporting events on TV, but we need to keep noise to a minimum.
So really, Javier?
What are you talking about?
I saw you behind the dumpster.
Yeah.
He's mine.
No,
Are you
no,
kidding
he's
me?
my boyfriend.
No.
Behind that dumpster
He was
is
mine
when he
first.
asked me out.
No.
No, not at all.
Are you kidding me?
No, you guys
We've
can't
been together
no.
for 3
Our residence halls operate on a 24/7 courtesy hours policy. This means a student should be able to sleep or study at any time without interruption. This encourages a focus on academics and respect for others in the community.
No more Indian food.
Hi, you can't be in there. That's the women's bathroom.
But it's closer to my room. I don't want to walk that far.
All residents have the right to use gender-inclusive bathrooms. However, bathrooms labeled specifically as men or women must only be used by people of that gender. If you want to know when the building opens and closes, you can check the occupancy section of the license. There's a lot of good information here, including specifically what date and time residents need to leave for breaks and when they can return.
The college may reassign rooms for occupancy management. This includes mid-year process and consolidation, which RAs help their hall directors to complete. The college reserves the right to enter any space if there is a risk of danger to a student in that space.
RAs check every room for fire violations during closing inspections at the beginning of every break. Staff members will also enter for maintenance concerns such as electrical problems. Lastly, college officials may enter a room when they feel property is being damaged or a policy is being violated. This doesn't mean you can enter a room whenever you want during an incident. You will need to use good common sense and contact the hall director if you have any questions about this. Thank you for participating in the Residence Hall License Training module. Make sure to visit the Residential Community Life homepage where you can find the most current version of the license on a link on the tab to the left. It is your responsibility as a staff member to have and know this information. If you have further questions, please contact your hall director. Thank you again, and we hope you enjoy the rest of RA ATM training.